That was all right. All right, that right there was a BP jam. This song right here is called, what we say we doing next? Relapse? Is this twisted? Nope. Thank you. This next song right here is called Relapse. Once again, check us out anywhere, any platform, Josiah Greater Good, and hear all this music at any time, any place. Check yourself, yeah, yeah. When you're talking to me, really I'm just trying to help, yeah, yeah. There's a side of me you don't wanna see, 'cause you can talk that cash, but if you check my past, you'll see I will make the money exchange. So you might wanna check yourself and not step out of your lane, 'cause I might up and have a relapse, yeah, yeah. Messing around, now please don't make me have a relapse, yeah, yeah. If you do, then I'ma put you down. What's a man gotta do to have a boo and peace in this town? Please don't make me have a relapse. I'm not messing around, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got something to prove. Hey, come on and tell me what's up with that attitude. Nah, nah, nah. You wanna try me? That's a fight you're about to lose. I got a crew. Mine just pop up on the music, breaking all the moves. Now I've been trying to play it cool. You acting like a fool. If I snatch you at the shoes, what you about to do? If I have a relapse, hey, yeah. I'm not messing around, now please don't make me have a relapse, yeah, yeah. If you do, then I'ma put you down. What's a man gotta do to have a room and peace in this town? Please don't make me have a relapse. Nah, nah, I'm not messing around, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. This right here is a classic JTGG tune right here, Other Side. We don't have no good live versions of this one out, and it's such a good song. That's all I got to say about it.
Hey, welcome to Market Square, live on Market Square with ProMotion Studios. Today we have two great guests. We have Rick Stone and also Alex Stokes. If you don't know who they are, you should totally look them up because you're missing out a whole lot. Also today, we also have Jim Johnson and also Josh Martin as your host today. So I hope you all enjoy the show. We have a lot of great guests. Jim has some special, super special guests that he's going to bring on as well. So looking forward to that. Rick Stone, why don't you take away the first cut?
Text you just yesterday, and you took it the wrong way, and now you're mad and wanting to fight. Grab a bag and let's run tonight. Riding down this old road, don't know which way we're going. Hand in hand we'll roll tonight. Don't matter who's wrong or right. Gotta toss this pride away. You know it's gotta start today. And love is real and here to stay. You know we always find a way. Riding down this old road, don't know which way we're going. Hand in hand we'll roll tonight. Don't matter who's wrong or right. Day-to-day sure is us down. It's hard to walk around without a frown. And yeah, I know life gets rough. Come on, girl, now enough's enough. Riding down this old road, don't know which way we're going. Hand in hand we'll roll tonight. No matter who's wrong or right. Riding down this road, let's go. Come on, girl, take my hands, time to go. Riding down this old road, don't know which way we're going. Hand in hand we'll roll tonight. No matter who's wrong or right.
Woohoo! Boy, that was good stuff right there, Rick.
Welcome to the show, live from Market Square. That was Rick Stone, and we've got a great show.
We have got an action-packed house this evening. Let me tell you, we got so many people in here, it's going to be crazy. But I'm ready for it. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, there's a movie going on in town right here in Knoxville this week and for the next week or so. So keep your eyes open for Facebook because there's posts all over the place. Movie in town called Nothing is Impossible. Let me tell you, nothing is impossible. I always say that. It is true. Matt Shapiro is the director. Tommy Blaze is the producer. David White is also a producer on this. You might know them all from the God's Not Dead series. And, of course, Vincent DePaul, he's also here. They're all actors in this film. I'm just stoked that they're all going to be here tonight. It's going to be incredible. They're going to show up in a little bit. But
Great.
We also have Alex Stokes here.
The beer comedian himself, Mr. Alex Stokes.
Which is weird. I just came off of a movie set too.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah,
for?
I was shooting a film in our bedroom, but the other actor decided not to be on camera. So
he
it's
was
just me.
standing in
Yeah,
the corner.
he or she, your wife? I don't know. I didn't know where you were going
What
with
are you
that one.
talking about? No,
I'm
it
not
was
sure.
Like,
What were you talking about?
it's about furniture.
Furniture.
It's a furniture movie. Yeah.
Furniture movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's posturepedics, yeah.
Yeah, exactly what it was.
So what's been going on, Alex? You stay busy. You've been having some shows. You back and forth between here and Gatlinburg all the time.
I had to make a list. Yeah, I've got a list on my phone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff
you have,
going
you
on.
have a lot of lists, don't you?
Yeah. My life is it's just lists of
You
stuff.
got to compartmentalize
Some
every-
stuff I actually do, some I don't.
Right.
You know, Rick and I were talking about that earlier. Is like our brains just go nonstop, and I wake up every morning and I tell my wife I've got 10 new ideas, and she tells me to leave for about a week until one of them happens. And so yeah, no, just finished up with my class last night, my UT stand-up class.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah, so we'll talk about my class at another time. It was good. We always finish up our show at Schultzbrow Brewing Company. They have that huge outdoor beer garden, which, matter of fact, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, just got ranked the #3 best beer garden in the entire country.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and a major is like travel and leisure. Oh yeah,
it really is. I love it there. It's beautiful.
It was cool though. We had like 150 people in the crowd. I mean, it was a big crowd, and but kids walked in right at the very last second, right before we started the show. So I had to rearrange the order of my students. It was like, all right, the clean ones go up first, dirty ones later. But apparently the crowd wanted dirty, and so by the time we got to the dirty ones, the crowd was already,
Had thinned out.
Yeah. So
Well, so
it was okay though. My class was great, and the next one starts in September. So anybody wants to take it, come on.
What were the ages of your classmates this year?
This year, well, UT had to change the rules because at one time I had a 14-year-old.
So you got to be 18 to enroll now, right?
I think you have to be 45. Yeah, I was 45
You've
now.
kind of bypassed
to be
all
in
that
my
stuff,
class.
so now you're 45 in it.
No, it's I think it's 21 and up now.
Okay.
Because
Well, you have
you
have
can
shows
say
and bars.
whatever you want to in my class, which the director of UT learned that in the hard way last year when he popped into my class and saw what I had written up on the board, and he's like, "Oh, okay,
Well,
well,
plus you have
that's a
performances
new
in
word."
bars anyways, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and most of my shows are at bars and breweries. So, but yeah, the new class starts in September. It's a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to be a comedian, take the class. Most people take my class, I think, just to get away from their spouse every Tuesday for $149 for 8 weeks.
That's a pretty
They
good
get like
deal.
a
That's a
2
great
to
deal.
3.
I got to go to school,
You
honey.
get
I'm
2
sorry.
to 3 hours a week to go drink beer. UT's even kicked me out of the conference center. Now all of my classes now are in bars and breweries. Literally.
So you're not at UT anymore. You just automatically go straight.
Originally, it was 4 classes at UT and 4 shows outside. Now it's, all right, the first night you can come here, but after that, we don't want to see you again. And so now the rest of them, we just meet at bars and have
So
a
you
couple
can
beers.
do your first little meet and greet on campus after that.
Yeah, the first
when
one's
to see
at,
Hyde
yeah,
and Pear.
which that may go away too. Who knows? I think they're tired of me, but yeah. So the class is done, but got a Saturday night. This Saturday, so that's like 3 days.
Yeah.
It's not very far away.
Here at
It
the
is
Crown
true.
Plaza, I'm doing it's a huge event. It's like this huge event in Knoxville. It's a post-COVID, like, let's get the whole community together. It's called Breakout at the Plaza. And tickets are, I think, $75 and $125 a couple. There's music, dancing. I'm the comedian. There's all kinds of stuff. It's a big, massive event at Crown Plaza. So if you want tickets for that, grab them now. It's going to be a huge fun night.
Awesome.
And I'm trying to think what else.
Well, you got the podcast as well. Waking up. in
Well,
the-
yeah, I was going to get to that.
He's like, let me talk
Hold on,
about my
hold on, my
shows
list.
first. I got a list.
But yeah, I got my list. August 7th, Gypsy Cider Circus and Barrel House over here in Knoxville. I'm doing a huge show, and that's where we're filming for my Amazon Prime documentary that night. So, oh, did I tell you guys y'all need to come film that? Did I forget to tell you?
You might want to get on the.
One of you guys needs to come film this. Yeah.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna
Wait,
be
what's
epic.
today's date? Oh shit! Yeah, I should have told y'all that 2 weeks ago. But yeah, that's going to be a huge show. Tickets are $10. They're on sale now at Gypsy. They got this huge, really cool private room with the stage, private bar. They got food. And if you haven't been to Gypsy and the Barrel House, it's amazing,
Absolutely.
cool place.
Great place.
That's August 7th. Let's see. Let me just knock out all my shows. October 2nd, I'm really excited about this. In Sevierville, the Bruce Street Brew Festival, which is one of my favorite festivals ever.
That's got your name written all over.
Oh, well, I know. I am the beer comedian, but this festival is different than all the other beer festivals, though. And what's cool about it is it's half big, like your big breweries from Asheville and Knoxville, and then the other half is professional home brewers.
Oh, wow.
And so you've got 40-something brewers there, and you just drink as much as you can for hours and hours. And then at the end of the night, I'm the master of ceremonies. I've done it twice. At the end of the night, I have to announce the winners, which last time didn't go too well because I got there 2 hours before the festival started, and I was there for like 8 hours. And then, so I had to have the own breweries read their name off the card because I couldn't read it. And I was like, yeah, with that, did you win?
needed
That's
subtitles.
you. Yeah.
Where's it going? What's going on?
It's a great festival. And then what's the rock festival we got coming up on Labor Day?
Oh,
Bare Bones.
Yeah.
Bare Bones Festival. I'll be hosting that too. So get to hang out with all the bands. A lot of them from promotion.
A lot of them from around here, so like local, and
it's
these
gonna
guys,
be-
he's
yeah.
pulled in a lot of great talent this year.
I've already been invited to sleep in like 5 trailers and 3 cabins and a
I'm
couple
sure you'll make it to
fields.
at least half a dozen of those.
Yeah, I'll probably be.
It's 3 o'clock.
I don't know.
Somebody said something about a party at 3 o'clock.
The last rock festival that I hosted, my wife was like, "We're not doing this again." But that was 9 years ago. I think she forgot about it, so we're doing it again. So that's the shows I got coming up, but
Awesome.
yeah, the podcast, yeah.
Yeah,
called
waking up in a brewery.
Waking Up in a Brewery, yeah, it's really starting to take off. It's me and Chris Travis. He's known in Knoxville as the beer nerd. This dude knows everything about every beer you could ever imagine. And then I'm the beer comedian. I really just drink it, and so I don't really know. I'm just like, yeah, just give it to me. But yeah, we started this like 15 weeks ago, and it's really starting to take off. We got a YouTube channel coming up. Got a lot of TikTok stuff getting ready to start hitting.
Got to be
I
up.
figured, I'm like, hey, I'm almost 50 years old.
Time to
I
figure
better
out
start
TikTok.
TikToking now. You know.
No doubt. Hey, James, we got some guests down at the door. Make sure you go down and greet them because they are here.
And tell them I got pants on.
Tell them they got pants on, yes. Did James hear me say that?
The
'Cause
last
they're
3
waiting.
times
got
I've done
somebody.
shows, we had to tell them, hey, there's a guy with no pants. We're just letting you know before you come up.
So, what's the best way for people to find the podcast? It's just waking up in a brewery on Anchor is where you host it, right?
Well, it's on every major platform.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't
funny.
know which one is going to pay you better. If
Yeah,
people
Anchor's.
listen to it.
We're actually sponsored by Anchor.
Yeah.
But it's funny though. Facebook Live is where we get most of our viewers.
Really?
And so now we're switching to YouTube because it's really starting to take off. We've got some huge events coming up. We're doing all the beer festivals. We're going to be filming live, interviewing all the brewers. We've got a secret thing that I can't say, but it's a big putt-putt festival.
Putt Festival?
Including all the breweries in Knoxville. They don't know it yet. So,
You're going to tell them the day before, I assume. That's
I wasn't supposed to say that live.
Well, they know now.
Okay. But yeah, we're one of my good friends just opened a new putt-putt place in Townsend, and they're going to actually serve beer there eventually. So I was like, well, why don't we
Beer and putt-putt.
Putt-putt.
Beer,
I think that's a
putt-putt,
good
and Townsend.
idea. Do you remember downtown Knoxville? They had the laundromat, the Buds and Suds. I think.
Yeah,
is
Buds
what
and
it's called.
Suds.
Yeah, I was in college.
I mean, I was in college. Yeah, it was down. I lived down on 17th Street, and I remember them having that.
They
Buds
had
and
that for
Suds.
a
Nobody
while.
went to do laundry.
Wait, you were on 17th? That's where I lived on 17th
Did
Street.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I graduated in
No way.
97.
Did we? No. See, I did. Yeah, I'm much older than you, Alex.
They had Buds and Suds back then?
80.
Back in the 40s?
It stuck around for quite a few years.
87, 88, 89, 90.
They had Buds and Suds then?
Buds and Suds was down there,
Oh, it was great though.
right there. It was a great place.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I
I'm
didn't
sure
even-
they closed down because there was so much underage drinking at Buds.
I didn't even like beer back then. Like back then, that was when I was still in my wine cooler days.
wine cooler.
And I was like,
What is it? Seagram's wine coolers?
I was like Buds and Seagrams, you know, or Suds and Seagrams. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't drink the Buds. Yeah, but yeah, Waking Up Brewery, it's cool. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up with that.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot. You do episodes like what? How many? You do it once a week, and you do it early in the morning at a brewery.
A lot
right?
of it started
as soon
out.
as they open.
Well, Orange Hat Brewery, brewing company, is one of my corporate sponsors, and so we started out doing it there. We did the first, I think, 10 episodes, all at Orange Hat, and then I think they got tired of us coming. They don't open until 11, and we were like 10 o'clock in the morning, like, beer. And they're like, oh, God, these guys. And so we started branching out. We've been to Zool Brewing Company. We've been to Last Days of Autumn, Skybox, the Mirage.
The Mirage.
Oh gosh, where? I don't want to leave anybody out, but I probably just. We just did Highwire.
Highwire Brewing.
Yeah, we were at Highwire, and so yeah, we're trying now to do different
We have
breweries.
so many great breweries around here.
Oh
so-
gosh, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That was perfect for you. You know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Great because you can wake up in a new brewery every day.
Best thing I ever did was,
That's the best
you
thing
know, I've
for
been
you.
doing stand-up almost 12 years now, and the best thing I ever did 2 years ago was change my name to the Beer Comedian. And I don't even, people are like, do you tell a lot of beer jokes? I'm like,
No.
like one or two, but it gets me,
drink more.
it gets me free beer. So I'm like, that's,
Free beer. It's why I do it. It's why I do jokes.
yeah, I
Yeah,
just put the,
that's the best way to. That's
yeah,
the
Rick,
best
you might want to
marketing.
put whatever you want, just put it in your name. You just get it free. That's great.
Flat screen TV, Martin.
Yeah.
I love it. Now you.
Flat screen TV
They-
stone.
Yeah, flat screen TV stuff.
See, mine is Get Stoned, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, Alex, do you have any new books coming out? Because you're a phenomenal author. I love
Prolific
your books
author.
are Just
Prolific,
cracking.
love
Yeah.
Dude. So
That's a bigger word that's in any of my books, by the way. I just want to let you know.
four letters is top. secret.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Basically what it
They're
is.
all just, it's all code.
Know your demographic,
Your
right?
statements, though, in between what's going on when you're in Gatlinburg, somebody came and asked you a question, or you just heard a person on the street say something in particular, and you've always got this great comeback with,
Well,
you know, it's
okay.
good stuff.
If anybody that pre-bought Messing with Tours 3 is watching this right now,
And they're just gonna throw pennies at the screen.
I'm afraid stuff's going to start shooting out of the cameras at me like bullets, you know. Because the pre-sale was in January of 2019, and it's almost ready.
Almost ready.
Well, there's a couple things with it. First of all, it got deleted twice because I'm not very tech savvy, and my laptops, I had 2 laptops go out, and I didn't back it up, couldn't find it, took them to all kinds of people. I was like, can you, my book, it's gone, and they couldn't find it. So I had to rewrite it 3 times. Well, then, since I started it, originally, I had it all ready. In 3 years with COVID and just the way Gatlinburg is in general, businesses have changed. So a lot of new ones stepped in. A lot of the ones that were in the book originally are now
gone,
closed, even though I'm going to leave them in there. But I've added more to it. It went from about a 120-page book. I think I'm probably looking at about 150 right now.
Nice.
The goal is for it to be here August 7th for my Gypsy Circus show.
Cool.
At Barrel House.
Fresh off the press.
In 2029. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and book a show for
Gypsy.
Barrel House if they're still here. Yeah, which I'm sure they will be. They're,
Get your tickets today, folks.
yeah, get your
Don't
tickets
wait.
now. 2020.
Pre-order
Don't
for the
wait.
show in 2024.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Buy today and you.
Well, see, this is going to be the last one of Messing with Tours. Like, this is the finale. I'm not doing any more after this. And I wanted to make this one way better than the other 2. So.
And the next one's just gonna be screwing with locals, I guess.
No, I've got other books coming, but there's a couple secret
Well, yeah,
ones.
you've got children's books and everything out there, but
Yeah, there's all. Yeah, like I said, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, new idea. It's bad. It's,
Well-
my brain hurts. Oh, one thing that we're doing together.
yes.
See, I'm looking at my list because I know I don't have much time left. One thing I wanted to do this for years, and we finally got it all set up at Orange Hat Brewery. I think November 6th. I've always wanted to do a festival, a one day festival, musician, comedian.
Oh, yeah,
musician, comedian, all day long. And then at 8 o'clock at night, the musicians have to get up on stage and do stand up, and the comedians have to get up and play music.
I love that
And the
idea.
crowd votes on who's the best or the worst or whatever.
I love
Which
that
I'm
idea.
pretty sure us
so
comedians are
much.
going to suck ass and lose that one. So,
Hey, you never know.
I know I'm trying
Could
to
be
find
phenomenal.
comedians that can play an instrument right now. So,
Well, you can find a few. If not, just get them to practice, some pixies or something.
Pixies, yeah.
The jaw harp was a
Get them to practice some 3 chords in the truth, and they'll be fine. So.
I bet you could play the heck out of a kazoo. I bet you could play
I bet you I
kazoo.
can't.
Bet you could.
I can't do anything.
He's like, I can't.
See,
do
that's the
anything.
problem. Comedians are just we want to be rock stars, but we're not talented.
Well,
enough.
maybe you should have everybody just play air instruments. It'll be like the air guitar world
It'd be like
championships.
when I did
yeah.
Loverboy back in like 1981 at my dad's skating rink. That'd be awesome. Cool. I'll do that.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So people can find you at beercomedian.com.
Beercomedian.com, yeah.
And Waking Up in a Brewery at Waking Up in a Brewery podcast.
Yeah, you can also, all the Waking Up in a Brewery podcasts are on beercomedian.com. My class is on beercomedian.com. Yeah, anything you
need.
Anything you need is on, you can buy stuff on beercomedian.com.
Buy stuff on beercomedian.com.
Yes,
Buy stuff.
it's my book.
Buy
Everything but beer.
Buy stuff.
My new T-shirts are coming too. They're really cool. It's the Beer Comedian shirts with it's a microphone stand with a beer mug as the mic. And then
Nice.
and yeah, those are coming.
Very cool.
So
All right.
yeah.
Well, thanks for
I
coming
appreciate
by.
you guys.
Hey, man, we appreciate you.
Hey, and big shout out to Promotion.
Thank
They've
you.
done wonders for me. So any bands, musicians out there, comedians, anybody, make sure you come check them out. They do a lot for us.
We're happy to help, man. We're glad to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And check him out all over the place.
I will
Alex
say,
Stokes.
last thing before I walk out though.
Last thing, what is it?
Saturday night, my show at Gallimore Brewing Company.
This Saturday. 10
Yeah,
p.m.
this past Saturday that
Oh.
I just had
Oh.
that you guys booked for me. Had 3 bachelorette parties. I don't know if you guys sent them on purpose or what. They came in all at the same time. 45 bachelorettes separate that formed into one giant bachelorette party. Took my microphone and made me go outside. I literally had to leave the building while they did their bachelorette stuff. And
Oh, wow.
I kept the mic. I think I might need to throw it away. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah.
It's covered. It's got to be covered in
But
glitter.
thanks for
or
booking
something.
that for me anyway. So that was a good show.
Well,
All right, thank you guys.
yeah, like you're gonna put your foot down with a bachelorette party.
Yeah, I was way outnumbered. Yeah.
No, just seat it to them and be like,
Just
y'all have
roll
a-
with it.
Be
Just
like,
roll
you
with it.
ladies
I
have
lose to my
a
wife.
fantastic night, okay?
I can't. I lose to my wife, much less 45 bachelorettes. Yeah.
That would
Oh, by the way, Silk Whiskey, Silk Cozart. I'm giving you a huge shout out.
Hey, it's a number one. It's good
This
This
stuff.
is
It
number
is
one. The bottles
amazing.
Are being,
I love you, Silk.
The whiskey is being bottled as we speak. We've
It
got
is so good.
1,500
Yeah.
bottles coming very, very soon, and you'll be able to get that
Yeah,
off.
make sure you get that when it comes. Oh,
Yeah, that's gonna be a hot commodity, man.
it is,
I think
yeah.
people are gonna be hoarding that, and then
Let's keep it. You
It's
know?
very
Yeah.
smooth with
Keep
a
it
good
in the
burn.
closet.
yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Very cool. All right, check him out at thebeercomedian.com. He's got some great shows coming up, and listen to the Waking Up in a Brewery podcast, available wherever you listen to your fine podcasts. And we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be back with some more music from Rick Stone and an interview with him as well, right here, live from Market Square.
Never stop drinking, girl, till I met you. I might hit every honky tonk, yeah, before the night is through. Since you went off and left with someone else, yeah, guess I'm your fool. Still, I never stop drinking, girl, till I met you. Now, girl, I hope you're happy. You'll know maybe not. You put on the next rated show, yeah, in the parking lot. Now I shots. 'Cause I never stopped drinking, girl, till I met you. I might hit every honky tonk, yeah, before the night is through. Since you went off and left with someone else, yeah, guess I'm your fool. Still I never stopped drinking, girl, till I met you. Now I'm chicken picking on my air guitar. Lick for a lick to shook me all night long, yeah, I'm gonna be a star. Now the room has started spinning and I lost my mason jar. I'm drunk as hell, scream out a rebel, yell, yeah, baby, let your freak flag fly. 'Cause I never stopped drinking, girl, till I met you. I might hit every honky tonk, yeah, before the night is through. Since you went off and left with someone else, yeah, guess I'm your fool. Still I never stopped drinking, girl, till I met you. No, I never stopped drinking, girl, till I met you.
Flexing on who? Know that we fly when we step in the room. Taking the dub and we high as the moon. Blowing your mind with the bass and the tunes like
Flexing on who?
Hey, 44s here sitting low, poking out with the suicide dose. Yo, bitch wanna give me throat, but I just passed her off to my bro.
I did the dash on her in a new Porsche, yeah. Skirt, 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 skirt. I did the dash on her skirt.
Put your feet back on the ground. Wake up in the morning with a nosebleed. Same shit.
That close eventually say they feel me, but know if they got the chance, I swear to God they would kill me, and that's a fact. When I step in the room, these bitches don't know how to act. They reaching for me, trying to tell me.
This is my farewell. Hope you cry me a river, cause I'm about to set sail. In the back like a rat tail. I've been drinking and thinking about you, but I can't stop.
Where did you go? You should've warned me before you left.
All the way down. Welcome back to the show. We're live from Market Square. Right now, we got another track from Mr. Rick Stone, Appalachian Highway.
Appalachian Highway, take me back home, back to my memories, back where I belong, back to my home place where I can be alone, 'cause I gotta rest these old weary bones. See, I lived a rough life in the fast lane. On these dodging IEDs, they left this man a pain. So I drifted round this country, Lima to Omaha. But nothing's like Tracy City and sitting with Grandpa. Here now in the desert, whisper in the wind, calling out to me now and say, hey boy, come home again. Appalachian Highway, take me back home, back to my memory, back where I belong. Back to my home place where I can be alone. 'Cause I gotta rest these old weary bones. Now I'm living my way in my mountain home, loving life with my family, and there's no more need to roam. Still I sit and wonder why we had to fight. I pray that America will always do what's right. Appalachian Highway, take me back home, back to my memories, back where I belong. Back to my home place where I can be alone. 'Cause I gotta rest these old weary bones. Yeah, I gotta rest these old weary bones. Yeah, I gotta rest these old weary bones.
Mr. Rick Stone, Appalachian Highway, here in the Promotion Studios. And that's from your upcoming album?
Yes, upcoming album. Not named album yet. I haven't named it yet, but I got all the songs in production, so it's exciting. I'm excited. I had so much fun. It took me a long time to get my first album done. It took me a decade to get it done.
Yeah,
I'm on track to hopefully get this one done in 1 calendar year, so my next one. So we'll see what happens. So.
Well, we got your fingers crossed for you because dropped home back in 2020.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir. Back in December.
Yeah, had a bunch of great singles on that. You had written those songs, worked on them, and got them done. And you were like, man, let's put out an album. It's time to get it done. And now you're following up about a year later with a brand new one ready to go.
Yeah. I'm excited. And also, Appalachian Highway, I'm in the process of production of the music video for that one. Actually grew a beard for a while. If you follow me on Facebook, Rick Stone Music, that's how you can find me on anything, by the way. I had a beard down to about here.
Yes,
drove everybody crazy. Lisa hated it. I did too, man. It stunk. It didn't matter how much you washed it, man. I couldn't keep that thing clean.
Well, and you grew it out for the character.
For the character in the video. So.
And give us a little bit of the story of the video because I think it's great the way that it ties in with the song.
Well, in those shots, I'm actually a homeless veteran. So, and a buddy of mine rolls up and he sees me and he rescues me off the street and kind of gets me back back on my way.
Ministers to you, so to speak, and gets you back, you back on your feet. Because you see,
and we are so grateful we got to work with the Oakwood Cafe in Dalton, Georgia. Got to film in their location, and they fed us, and amazing food, by the way, so hit them up. But yeah, Tim Miller with E10 Video is helping us out on this project, and it was our first music video with him, This Old Road, and he's a lot of fun to work with, and just fun, and we had fun with you guys. I never started drinking. You guys aired that one over here, so. But yeah, just,
you always have great ideas for your videos. You always want to tell a story, so we're really looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. And you're playing so many shows. You stay busy.
I can't even tell you where I'm playing right now.
I know.
Because there's so many. You just have to look on my site. Rick Stone Music. That's how you find me. Rick Stone Official is how you find me as far as on my webpage.
Yeah.
And you can buy merch there too. Get Stone shirts. They say Get Stone, Rick Stone Music. Shot glasses, koozies, you name it. So even girls' tanks with some nice pink foil on them. So.
Yeah.
Just hit me up on that, or hit me up on Facebook, and we'll hook you up on some merchandise.
Yeah, you got some great styles for everybody in the family. Of course, you know, the shot glasses, I got to get me one of those shot glasses because that's perfect. And you got so many things planned right now. What are your big plans? You got the third album that you said you were already working on.
I'm already starting to write it. Yeah. It's crazy. Lisa and I were talking about that on the way up, and it's like, yeah, that's what I aspire to do. I want to put out music. I have so many ideas of songs and so much to say. It's just finding enough time to get it all done.
That conversation keeps coming up with musicians I've been talking to recently. It's just like, I wouldn't be doing this unless I needed to do it. I've got some things I've got to say. Yeah. It's that creative bug that's just
I wake up all the time and come up with songs. And I was at work the other day and just wrote one. So it's just,
And you're lucky enough to have a studio in your house, so you do.
Well, not just that, and also Lisa. She helps co-write lyrics and helps out. And she'll tell me sometimes. Every once in a while, she'll look at me and she'll say, "I don't like it."
Hey, she's one of the best video directors I've ever met.
She's an amazing video director. She's sitting in the lobby in there just chilling out and enjoying herself. But yeah, she's an amazing director, and she's got me to do things I didn't realize I could do. So I'm very thankful for you, baby. I love you with all my heart.
She definitely shares your vision for what you're trying to do, and that's rare.
She does, and she's been really involved in Appalachian Highway, and we've been, like I said, we're in the planning phases of our next shoots. So by the time that's all said and done, that'll be about 6 shoots on that one. So
that's awesome.
But a lot of work, but you know what? This one we wanted to really just to do ourselves. And have all the control. Does it make sense?
Take your time with it. Get the shots and the locations that you want. Yeah, exactly.
So, and even filming some our own. Yeah. I mean, Lisa has filmed some of the scenes of that.
That's great.
So yeah, having a lot of fun, man.
Awesome.
Living the dream, man. I mean, living the dream.
Yeah, that's the thing is like if you can stay busy playing shows, making music, and creating some really cool stuff on the side to go along with it. And I mean, you work full time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, so
hey, I do both full time. So
yeah.
But that's what it takes. I mean, it takes a lot of work in life, man.
And if that's what
you're not going to get anywhere in this world without just busting your backside, right?
Absolutely.
I got one of the songs on the album. It's called Freeway.
Freeway.
There ain't a freeway in this life. You got to bust your ass if you want to survive. Get your part of the American dream. It's a whole lot easier than it seems.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, I'm excited to hear the full album. And like you said, you're going to take your time with it. When it's done, it's done. You're hoping to get it out by the end of the year.
And like I said, we've been plugging along, and I had to take some gaps and breaks in it, because other things coming up and life gets in the way, And
sometimes you just got to take a vacation.
And not only that, sometimes I just need a break from it because I'll spend almost every night. There was some earlier in the year I was spending just about every night in the studio, and Lisa's like, you gonna kind of hang out with your family? And it's like, you gotta have your surgery, baby, so I gotta stop everything then.
Yeah.
I said, try to get as much done before that. So it was nice. And then when I kicked back and just sitting back watching TV with her, and it's just like, okay, I'm good. Just sit there and think about some of my songs I gotta work on, but just relax.
Awesome.
So, and trying to balance life a little bit more, because I do a lot of shows and it's hard. I've been trying to at least try to take off, especially this summer, try to take off one weekend a month,
Right.
And play a lot in between the rest of the time, but take a weekend I can spend with my family. And
Got to take a
and
sanity break and just spend
we
time
got
with
to
the
float
folks
the
you love.
river, and we've got to do some cool stuff with our friends. And last weekend I was off and got to go out partying. You know, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Got really drunk. But it was a blast.
When he goes baritone, you know it was a real tie on.
Really drunk.
Well, we're going to be back with some music from Rick Stone a little bit later in the show. You can find him online, rickstoneofficial.com, and follow him on Facebook. He's got a new album on the way, but while you're at it, why don't you just stream home? It's available on Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere.
And don't forget about that YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Rick Stone Music. Subscribe today because more stuff's coming. So
Follow that
we're
page.
just getting warmed up.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to miss the drop of Appalachian Highway coming there, and I'm sure they have the singles on there as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So follow him on all of that. Stay tuned because we got a great show still to come. Jim is going to be back with some very special guests involved in the production of Nothing is Impossible. That's what he was saying. Nothing is impossible. So stay tuned for that here live from Market Square.
I'll never understand just how we got this far. Was this all part of a plan written in the stars? They say this is the death one. We've destroyed ourselves each time. It's the destinies are unfold, and we watch it all unwind. Should
are back.
Live from Market Square.
Live from Market Square, folks. That's what it's all about, being live. And right now in the studio, we have live the cast and crew of Nothing is Impossible. We're so glad that they're here. Man, guys, you guys look fantastic.
So glad to have you guys here.
Well, we're
All
very
six of you.
excited to be here. Sorry.
Nice to be in Knoxville.
Did we speak too soon? I think we might have
No,
spoken
no,
too soon.
No, they actually, Nate over there is a professional. He's got all that stuff.
He's got it all under control.
Sorry, Nate.
Yeah. Plus, it's live, so certain things happen when things are live. You just have to do it.
Absolutely. So you guys are producing this film here in Knoxville?
Yes, we are shooting this movie right here in Knoxville.
That's amazing. And some of you may recognize the cast over there from some of their other films. You want to run through some of the films? God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
There's so many of them over there.
Yeah.
The guys have been involved in over 200 films, but it's, I mean, together, collectively.
I know,
Vincent's
right, well, I
been
know
like
right now on
50.
Netflix you can scroll through the Netflix. I know right now you can scroll through the Netflix Christian stuff and see many of your faces on some of those posters.
We like to say
and things.
PureFlix.
Yeah,
PureFlix.
PureFlix as well. Yeah.
Scroll through PureFlix.
PureFlix,
and
yeah.
see all Faith Family.
Yes.
Over 10,000 titles there. This is not an ad for PureFlix. However,
Yes, it should be, though.
you should definitely go to pureflix.com
PureFlix, because it
and
is
check it out. And Matt and I, we did a movie called Finding Love in Quarantine. When, Matt?
About a couple weeks after the quarantine started in Los Angeles, we were talking on the phone thinking about how we were going to occupy our time.
Because we were bored.
Bored.
We were all locked up, right?
Started on a phone conversation. I pitched a horror idea, and he's like, I love it, let's do a family film. It was that quick. So we
Let's do a family romance.
yeah, so we contacted Tommy Blaze, who was the writer of this film as well, Nothing's
Who
Impossible.
didn't show up today, apparently.
Yeah, where is Tommy?
He's probably roaming around Market Square right now trying to find it.
Probably.
There's quite a few things going on out there today.
Yeah, lots to distract.
So we did Find Love in Quarantine over the course of the early stages of the pandemic, which was
We
difficult.
started in August, or April, in mid-April.
Yeah, it was me, David, and two others, which is not easy to do a feature film with a crew of three.
I had just moved into this house, and it was basically about a guy who hasn't spent time with his daughter, and then he ends up starting it that way, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit.
We were looking at the variables, as you do when you're making a movie, and because of the fact that we were all quarantined, we really couldn't bring in additional actors. So we obviously thought his daughter is a wonderful actress. He has two daughters. One of them he wanted to work with, so we created the storyline.
Only
around-
one. Everson, if you're out there, don't believe a word I'm saying.
She was on the previous movie,
Yeah,
so
she was.
so it was the two of them. And then as we started getting the feel for the story, because it was being written in real time, literally as we were filming it, we decided to develop characters, and obviously we were working with protocols. So we would shoot people either on their phones, on their computers, in different cities all over the country, but also in Europe. Kind of peppering the story, so we have the inside of the house, and then we have the exterior components, like the newscaster, or the postman, or the guy
or
dropping
Vincent
off Uber.
from in South Beach.
Well, he was out. Yeah.
And he pitched me this storyline, and I thought it was fascinating. And I said, well, I'm quarantining in South Beach on Ocean Drive, going to the beach every day. Sure.
It was tough. It was tough for you, right, Vincent?
Vincent had a hard life
sounds,
on
yeah.
South
Sounds-
Beach. Vincent.
Yeah, his
And
quarantine was different than ours.
I
Did
said,
you
"Matt,
find love on South Beach?
it was vacant. I mean, there were tons of ships at sea, cruises that people were on the cruises for a month. They couldn't dock
Wow.
because of the quarantine. And every day I would look from my home and out to sea, and I would see all of these cruise ships. But back to the story, I thought it was great, and I was happy that you hired Tom Arnold.
We
and
decided to not do it on a cruise ship.
You decided
That was good. That was a
put in
good
the
call.
house.
Good call.
And I was happy that you hired Tom Arnold and all these amazing ensemble casts and Eva LaRue, which garnered a Family Film Award for Outstanding Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Which you can also see on PureFlix.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing was that it started for basically we shot it. I know this, whatever. It's 8 weeks. We shot 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Every episode
Yeah.
is about 2.5 days. We get the script on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'd be shooting on Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday.
You know, I think from a standpoint of filmmakers, we're all artists, and we all start with nothing, and then we end up getting larger projects. What made this so awesome and so, I guess,
Emmy nominated.
what's the word I'm looking for? So
Is that
fulfilling
right?
is that
It was.
we all had to become artists again. We all had to move things around, hanging things on the wall. You know, you put plants here, then you move the plant over there. We had 4 plants for 8 rooms. I mean, it was that kind of a thing. And so when you watch the show, now a movie as well, you wouldn't notice the things that it takes, but that's the beauty of being an artist on set. We only had a few people, so David was running around getting craft services, buying clothes online for the police officers that didn't fit, but we did what we could with what it had. So it was just a fun experience. And in a quarantine, it made it, made it both fun for us, but also passing time that was our goal as well, to do something
Because
special.
you can't get out and do anything. You're doing the job of 50 different people. So
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what a producer, director,
And having to
all
overcome
of them.
those really creative production hurdles that posed, I'm sure was just like, well, and having to do so much yourself. So,
I actually really loved that. It was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't have to ask for anything. We just did it.
I know, we just did it. That was the nice thing. It was remarkable because Westlake Village, and again, I think I started with this. The whole thing is that I had just moved into this house, and so it was barren. Like there was nothing on the walls.
perfect for staging.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect for staging. I don't think my landlord ever knew that we actually. I think she knows now that we shot there, but at the time,
Very good chance.
But yeah, but like you couldn't in LA. It's hard to shoot with all the permits and everything like that, and because people were all freaked out about so much, we literally had the run of the city.
Yeah.
We were everywhere on streets and
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
What-
it was closed down. Like
What is it
everywhere
like?
else.
Very
Like
interesting.
what is it like permitting for something like that? Because I know you can shoot on some LA areas, and then some areas they're very strict about like, oh, you need a permit to film here. And you hit kind of like
Yeah,
this-
I think we did everything the way we were supposed to, and we had all the approvals for all the unions. I mean, that was the hard part, is working
Yeah.
through all the difficulties of. 'cause
Still
they
got
as
red
well
tape
did-
no matter what.
Yeah, they didn't know exactly what they were doing in terms of their unions. They were trying to make sure that, and they were mostly shut down with the exception of these sort of experimental projects. You know, I had to walk through with David every single shot, and how we were going to shoot it, and how we were going to send that footage digitally to an editor who's remote, who's never going to be
Yeah.
touching me or the footage, right? So it was a very fun but very unique workflow.
And you
Awesome.
can see this right now, Finding Love in Quarantine. You
I'm
can either
curious.
watch the 8 episodes or you can watch the movie. There's also a movie version of this now, and it came out last year. And we were just nominated for an Emmy Award for it. So we'll wrap that
That's
up
awesome.
so we don't keep going on because we have some wonderful people behind us.
Yes.
And we're actually in the city of Knoxville, which is why we're here, is to shoot this movie called Nothing is Impossible. So, now, have you guys shot much in Knoxville? You're from Knoxville, right? You're in Whitney. You're a native here.
native to Knoxville. Where did you grow up? Where'd you go to school?
Farragut.
Farragut? Oh, so you're an admiral, huh?
I'm an admiral.
All right,
That's
awesome.
my wife's.
You're getting some
That's
Woodward
my wife's
for
alma
sure.
mater. Yes, my wife went
It's
there.
a popular alma mater around
Yes,
here.
it is.
So did you go to UT or elsewhere?
I did for a while, and then I finished. But yes, I went to UT for about 2.5 years.
Okay, doing theater or something else?
No, something else. And then obviously, for some reason, it did not fit.
Well,
So I took a
they
different
find that
path.
happens quite often at
Yes.
UT.
Yes. I'm more of an artist, and I did not like it there. But that
Fantastic.
was just me. The school is amazing. The campus is, especially now, if you've never been here, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. They've totally remodeled all of it. I love it.
It's nice. It's
Yeah.
nice.
It is. So they've been filming here since, I believe, the 8th. Is that correct?
That's
It's been in
correct.
town since
Yeah.
the 8th. And they have been all over Knoxville doing this movie.
Yeah, you may have
So,
seen them.
everywhere.
Where all you guys were shooting down here on Market Square or
Matter of
something?
fact, Whitney was. She
Yeah.
was the reporter in our
I thought
project.
I thought I saw you down
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yep, we spent a day here reporting, or I was reporting the
Yeah.
news. I'm sure everybody kept thinking that I was actually part of Channel 10. Was that WVLT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
WBIR, WVLT's
WVIR?
channel.
I don't, yeah, either one of
bunch
those.
of them,
They
right?
kept asking me.
We saw that alleyway with all the mural art, and we were really excited about it. So David has a really cool shot walking through it, smoke or fog, the whole. It's just a super cool shot.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So Eric's this our head basketball trainer slash.
I look like it too.
Yeah, he does.
All right.
Eric, what is this movie
This guy
about?
doesn't.
When you read this movie, you guys read between the two of you. Explain what this movie's about.
Yeah, so I read it, and any basketball player actually that's lived basketball actually can relate to it because it's, it's basketball and love, right? So when a guy has a basketball dream, which is a really short string, and then he might love somebody who's important, which actually I had a very, very educated girlfriend when I was trying to make basketball. Her dad was a doctor, she's going to Pepperdine, all this stuff, and I'm trying to live this dream and dating me, right? So I can relate to this movie, and so it's it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. It has some validity and some reality, which I love. So I choreographed this movie as well. So when I'm working with these guys, I say, let's keep it real. Let's show these guys some real basketball. It's not White Man Can't Jump. It's not Michael J. Fox. Whatever the case might be. I want to show some quality and give these guys the best they can.
So I do not turn into a.
He doesn't turn into
wolf.
a wolf.
Yeah, Ernest
already
goes
a
to
wolf.
Hollywood. And
So what-
Ernest plays basketball.
So what
hard.
So what
We
I'm
just
hearing
lost
is
a viewer.
fundamentals. What I'm hearing
Well,
is
I mean,
fundamentals are
fundamentals
key.
are okay, but you have to have some. You have to have pizzazz. So
Yeah.
we I think with Matt and Eitan, who's not here, and these guys who are really high dynamic kind of guys who really drive to do something nice and right. I think we're going to make something very nice, and something where people can watch and go, "Wow, they look like basketball players."
Why did you like the script?
I like the script because it was inspirational. There's a lot of inspirational parts inside of the movie. Like you said, it's a love story. So it's a lot of love going on inside of the movie. And then outside of that, you have David here who's trying to do great things inside of the movie. I don't want to say what happens, but he does great things inside of the movie. And then my character, it related to me a lot because growing up, I was wanting to make it to the NBA league. Things kind of shifted. Now I'm acting, but like it really resonated with me. The script was a great script, and I loved it.
That's cool.
Matt, if you could scooch over just a hair.
Oh,
you're stuck behind. There he is.
Boom.
I didn't notice. I just noticed you were right behind Matt. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Staging issues.
Yes.
Good voice, though.
I couldn't see the camera was in the way for me because I'm looking through cameras. And
Yeah, I'm
wait a
sure
second.
you know all about that's a bad angle, that's bad framing. We got to squeeze 6 people on frame, so
Now,
it's not
Vincent,
Hollywood Squares here.
Why did you want to do this movie?
Why I wanted to do this movie? Well,
Yeah.
because while reading the script, it was about hope. And coming through this pandemic, I thought that it's very important that we do films that we encourage and empower. And hope is something that is a through line. When I read it in a script, it is just perfect. That's very relevant. And working with Matt in Malta and then also working with you, I said, I'm on board. I very much want to leave Cannes Film Festival, the French Riviera, and come to Knoxville. And
As everyone does.
Yes.
Knoxville I'm trying to get some southern food. I can't.
Okay.
What is it? Hush
Chandler's is
The best southern food is not on Google, so you're gonna have to ask the locals, and they'll point you to
some girl
somebody.
asked me, she goes, I go,
Barbecue spare ribs
I
would
go,
be
what's
great.
hush
I want
puppies?
some-
And she goes,
We can
she goes,
definitely hook you up.
Who doesn't know what hush puppies is? Where's he from? I said,
Yeah.
California.
funny.
She goes, you like that?
Best soul food in town, I think, is Jackie's Dream.
Jackie's Dream
Jackie's
is
Dream.
yeah.
This girl started it on her porch
It sounds
a couple
good.
years ago, and she.
Is her name Jackie?
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you know?
It's a family
It's quite
thing too.
amazing.
They have
There's supposed to be
best
a
soul food.
bar and food here. McCrack something or other.
Oh,
All right,
there's
I
a
think we're
mix.
off
There's a
base.
mix
Let's talk
something
about nothing is
somewhere.
impossible.
This is all I talk about the movie. Yes, I do want to say something. Because getting pulled into this myself, being the RV guy, I was the
Oh, this is what you're doing,
transpo
the
captain.
RVs? Yes.
Thank you
Oh,
so much.
okay.
Nobody better than Jimmy Johnson.
He was
Jimmy,
being very
thank you.
tight-lipped about what he was providing RVs for, and we were just like, okay.
Well, because because of now, this is the time for me to talk about this.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I mean, I got a call that said they needed RVs because somebody's coming down. I said, I have 2, so let's do it. And I've been so impressed with the way.
Is there a
this
phone
whole
number,
thing's-
by the way, that somebody can call to rent those RVs? Or are we the
Yes.
only people on the planet that?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's special. You get in touch with me right here on Promotion LLC if you have a need for RVs.
Yeah.
That's good. Or find me on Facebook, Jim Johnson. That's it. I'm off base again, David.
It's
555. I was talking about you at 555. I just anyway.
JJ's.
The one thing that stuck out to me most was you guys have done a lot of films together. You guys are like family, and I love that. And I looked very hard at what you guys were doing and how you responded to each other and how you worked together. And to me, that was epic. I mean, you guys have done a lot of films together, and getting to see that family bond and how you guys communicate through everything. And I just loved it. And it made me that much more interested in your project.
I love God's Not Dead, of course. I mean, watching those are amazing. But getting to meet you guys and seeing how you all guys work together through this whole process, because you guys have been all over town, and they're shooting so much stuff so rapidly. It's unbelievable. How you
Well,
guys
I guess
make
when
this stuff
you're very familiar with working with each other, that kind of shorthand comes fairly naturally, and it's hard to kind of replicate that or replace that. That's hard to come by.
The chemistry.
It's knowing things that I know Matt needs something, I'm going to do that, or I know David needs something, I'm going to do that. I'm going to know he's going to like
Anticipating,
this. So
yeah,
that's huge.
anticipating needs, man. Yeah.
I will say that and to your guys' to compliment you guys, it's also the city has welcomed us very with open arms and very well. I mean, we couldn't do any of this without the support and the groundswell of the teams of people like yourself. I mean, it's been both difficult at times and fun at times, but it's been accomplished as a result of everybody doing a part of that process. In each city, usually you either have a good opportunity to find people or you just don't. And in this case, the minute I arrived with Aton, which was in pre-production, we were welcomed and with open arms. And Knoxville is now permanently in our home, in our hearts, you know? So I think that'll hopefully display in the movie. Because we want to do that for you guys.
What I wanted to ask this earlier is like, what drew you to Knoxville? I mean, obviously you're probably looking at a couple of different places to do a production. So, what drew you to Knoxville?
I think there's two answers to that. There's the practical side and then there's the creative side. For me, I've always wanted to come to Tennessee. I've just always been a fan of Tennessee. I went to school and college in the South, and my limited exposure to Nashville and Memphis really kind of taught me that I want to spend substantial time here. And I've heard a lot about Knoxville from David, and obviously he's worked here in the past. Tommy Blaze, whose sister lives here, scouted some of the areas that were front and center of Tommy's writing. And that's, I think, David, you can chime in on that.
Yeah, no, you know what, I've been trying to make this movie for like 8 years, I think, and Matt was involved, I think, in 2014, right? Was it 14? 14 or 15. And then we would get the funding. If you've ever made independent movies, you get the funding, and then most of the time the funding falls out. It's just the way independent goes. I've been really fortunate to, been making movies since in my 20s, and so we've made a lot of movies. But it's like primarily because we've been blessed because people believe in what you're doing, and that's a big, we're not making horror films because we like to slash people up. We're trying to tell stories, like Vincent had said, that are inspirational and uplifting, and so with this one, it's been literally impossible to make it for quite a while, but it's called Nothing is Impossible, and so Tommy ended up meeting somebody who had an in to the Thompson bowling arena. Bowling or bowl?
Bowling arena, yeah.
Bowling arena, yeah. And that was the PureFlix recently partnered with Sony and a firm, and so it was early on. It's early on in our workings with Sony right now, and so as a producer, you try to find the ways to, I don't know, win friends and influence people, or however you do. I think in any business that Jimmy Johnson knows this very well. I'm just meeting you, so I don't know what your background is, but we know Jimmy. Great. Yeah, you're doing great. And Jimmy obviously is a master at. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, just having a great group of friends in different ways, and so my whole point of this is that Tommy had this arena. I knew that part of it was if we talked about this a lot, is that when something is just out there, it's hard to get going. It's hard to actually just pull the trigger and say we're going. But once you do that, once you say we are going, and we had a lot of, this seems to be the way in all independent filmmaking, is that we had a lot of obstacles against us going into this, and yet we were like, we're going on July 7th is our start date, no matter what, and it pushed.
So we went the 8th.
We showed up.
I thought we started. Yeah, you're right. We had to move it one day, but that's still pretty amazing because all the people back at PureFlix and Sony and everybody else is like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to move that. But then it was like, no, we only have the arena for the 10th, like through the 7th through the 10th, and there's no more, there's no leeway, and that ended up pushing it through. And sometimes you have to do that to move things along. and then everybody, all hands on deck, starts to gather together and
the creative side of it too is because you can make a movie pretty much anywhere, and we discussed right up into maybe the end of June if we were not going to be able to do it in Knoxville, just purely out of the statistics and the finances, because like David said, independent films are oftentimes tricky. You get certain things and then you have certain things that you lose as a result of taking certain liberties. And we, David and I, had a conversation where it was like, are we doing this in Knoxville or are we doing it somewhere in California?
LA. Yeah.
And I said to David,
Bakersfield.
to his benefit, because it's being a father and running a business, he could have easily said, let's just do it conveniently in California. But I said to David, doing a movie in Tennessee and Knoxville is going to add culture, it's going to add depth, it's going to add layers of things that you can't recreate. We're going to bring Knoxville to this movie. So
Matt
the
was
storyline.
a very big cheerleader for.
I love that.
Yeah.
And Tommy.
And so to his point,
that's great.
David said, "I'm all on. I'm all on board. I totally agree. Let's do it." And
If I
so
knew
that
I was
was
going to
it.
meet Jimmy Johnson and what's your name?
Josh Martin.
And Josh Martin. Then for sure it would have been a whole lot easier to make that decision.
I think Knoxville is the biggest character in the movie.
Yeah,
that's the
Well,
hope.
I love it. Well, like you said,
And Whitney. Sorry, Whitney.
Yeah.
When pressure is applied, great things happen. That's my motto when you're forced to do certain things, like you're running out of time and had to do with Thompson. You guys have made this work, and I've seen The Awesomeness. Folks, I'm telling you, you're going to want to see this movie. It is absolutely incredible. I've only seen the first part of it, so I'm missing out on the second part because they're doing stuff in different
if you've
places
seen the other
now,
films that they work on, you should know the quality that you're getting. You're getting a great uplifting story. So, I mean, this is something you can watch with the whole family and not have to shutter anybody's eyes. In fact, it may encourage discussions, important discussions with some people. So,
I'm sure.
That's what real art is about creating. So,
and to compliment David Ayer White and Matt Shapiro, the director, is that there is a bit of shorthand because they have had worked for so many years together. But for both of them to agree collectively, let's shoot in Knoxville on location, and do that was wonderful because now all talent came here. So we had Golden Globe nominee Stephen Bauer from Ray Donovan, Scarface, and so forth that agreed and said, I'm going to Knoxville. I've never seen Nashville. I've never been here. I may never see it. So let me travel because I want to work with these two amazing artists. And then we had...
And you, Vincent.
And working with him, yes, for many years, knowing him for 2 decades, 20 years, 2 decades, it's great. And seeing his growth. And then Nadia Bajorlin traveling 3,000 miles from LA, destination Knoxville.
Taking some time off of Days of Our Lives.
Taking time off of her soap, doing 84 pages a day.
Yeah.
She was a rock star, man.
Wow. 84 pages a day for each one of these scripts that they do for the
not
soap
our movie.
Yeah. No, we were at 14
We
days.
tried. We only got to 60 days. 60 pages.
60 pages.
And then also with Harry Lennox, one of the stars from Blacklist, who also said, okay, where are we going? It's Knoxville. So everyone came together and we shot here, and the backdrop of this city
And Stella Parton.
And Stella Parton, yes.
Yeah,
so
Stella.
Dolly
She's
Parton's
remarkable. So talented.
sister, Stella Parton, who is just really majestic, and I love everything about her, and her energy is really immense. So what I want to say is that the spirit of independent filmmaking is everyone coming together and believing in a project, and everyone saying, yes, we're going to do it. And I'm so happy that you two gentlemen said it's Knoxville this time. We shot in Malta, and we've shot, Guthrie, Oklahoma, all around, but I like being here. And the hospitality has been amazing, so thank you for
well, that makes us very glad to hear.
Yes. Maybe that's mean more movie makers will come to Knoxville, Tennessee to make their films. Because we really want you here, folks. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
And
Come
if
on
you
down.
ever need some trailers, then you want to
You
call
know where to find them.
555.
Yeah, you're
Fantastic
already
trailers.
Transpo
JJRV.
Captain here. That's right, Transpo Captain. I'll put a cap on.
we just
Be
patent
there
that.
for you.
Yeah.
And I guess a question for the staff or the cast. When you got the part and they told you were coming to Knoxville, obviously you're from here. Were you excited to come back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Tommy Blaze a couple of days before, I'll say what Matt was saying, was like, I think we're just going to do this in LA. Like, I just don't think it's going to happen. And I was like, no.
Doesn't sound like Tommy at all.
And then, of course, that night, he's like, nope, we're coming. We're going to Knoxville.
I know.
He's like, oh, gosh, thank goodness. I was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. And it's been amazing to see and meet all these people from LA. I mean, they are fantastic. And we're amongst a lot of the greats, for sure. And I've been really thrilled to be a part of it. Now, these two,
Well, we've been happy to have you.
Oh, thanks.
I was born in Georgia, so I had, my dad was in the military. I haven't been back to the South since I was 2 months old. So.
Oh, wow.
So, 2 months old?
So
Back in, that's why you don't know what hush puppy.
Yeah, that's why we have to get you some Southern food. Yeah,
well, I'm dying, man. I gotta hate because you can taste the culture, right?
Yeah.
Judy String.
So if you miss the culture right here, you waste. It's like wow, you missed the whole thing.
You have to experience.
But I have to tell you
experience
that
the South.
everybody that I've met that lives here
Judy's
is really nice.
New friends.
I mean, the quality of people, they are so nice.
It is unusual. See, I'm from outside Chicago, moved here, and I don't know what it is. Northerners, I guess we're short with people, and it's not that we're mean or whatever. I'm not anymore, though.
We convert you pretty quick.
Yeah, I did. I got converted. But
you get short
when my
with
parents
people,
moved
and they're just
here,
like,
everybody was asking, "How come your parents are so mad?" It's like
they're not mad.
They're not mad.
They're energetic.
Passionate.
Everybody is friendly here, though. It's a
is.
different deal than
Yeah,
LA,
very.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
How about Atlanta? You're from Atlanta,
Yeah,
right?
for me, I live in the South, so like I'm already kind of used to it. But coming back here, because the first couple of things that I booked was in Tennessee. So like just coming back, it was cool because this time I was able to like tour Tennessee. So I went up to the mountains yesterday. It was super fun, super cool. I got some great pictures. I rode a couple of roller coasters.
So you went to Dollywood?
Yeah,
Dollywood.
It
Yeah,
was fun.
waiting to get
yeah, you got to.
Yeah, this time when I came to Tennessee, I wanted to have fun. So I had a lot of fun this time.
I had no.
Fantastic.
And I'm from the northernmost southern state.
Florida?
the northernmost southern state.
Would that be North Carolina or
Maryland.
Virginia? Oh, Maryland.
Is
Okay.
the north, we were on this side of the Mason-Dixon line. So
Geography.
I'm part of the South, but the hospitality here is very different from Maryland hospitality, but it's the South.
Yeah.
And it's
You mean
just
like Baltimore?
I'm from Southern
Baltimore,
California.
yeah. Baltimore's
Southern
a,
California, Baltimore. Yeah.
yeah,
have a
Baltimore's a
southern
different vibe.
Yeah, Baltimore's a very different.
Baltimore
but-
seems like a very friendly city.
Can be.
Yeah.
Well, do they have? Do you guys have a projected time release?
Yeah.
For this?
I would say it's probably. We're hoping before the end of the year. Maybe in December.
And that'll be a theatrical release, independent theatrical.
No, it is on PureFlix.
Straight to like
Straight
you're
to
gonna release
PureFlix
premiere on
and on
PureFlix.
Home Entertainment, and it'll be on. I don't know exactly where Sony will put it out. It's Sony's, so
Okay.
yeah, they'll
Let me ask
release
you a
it.
question. We talk about PureFlix. You're one of the founders. How do people get PureFlix? Because it's very affordable. It's a great program. Like you said, over 10,000 movies.
Titles, yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
earlier?
Over
10,000.
That's more than Disney Plus. That's
huge.
for sure.
That's massive. So how do people sign up for PureFlix? We're in the South. People want faith-based programming.
Well, it's just like Amazon. It's just like Netflix. It's like Hulu. It's like it's just you just download it. It has an app on your phone, on your iPad, on your
Smart
television.
TV, yeah.
Yep.
PUREFLIX.
Yeah,
right?
or just go to
That's
Pureflix.com if you can't
Pureflix.com
quite figure it
and-
out.
And you can use your smart device and download the app on your smart device, pureflix.com, and then you can also have it through your Fire Stick, or you can get it through any other devices,
Roku or Apple
and so
or-
forth. And you
yeah.
just put in pureflix.com.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it, but it's been. We started it in 2015, and it was. It's interesting because Russell Wolf was. There were three of us that started: Michael Scott, Russell Wolf, and myself started PureFlix, and then and Russell had this idea. Hey, I think it's time for an SVOD, and SVOD is streaming video on demand, which is what all those Netflix, all the Hulu's, all that stuff is. And I didn't know. I was like, wow, that seems like a lot of work to and do we need to do that? Because, but that was the future. It is the future. Obviously, more and more we're seeing that. And I'm so grateful and glad that he had the foresight to do that and to get us on board. And, it was an amazing group of independent investors. We were $50 million in to putting that together. And there's a great line from Jerry Maguire. It was an up at dawn, pride swallowing siege to keep that going. And we were really fortunate because as any independent business, it is very difficult to go. But when COVID hit, it was very good for, people wanted to have options to watch.
Right.
And so PureFlix actually grew during COVID, which then attracted Sony to come on. And Sony, of course, has been around with Affirm for a long time. Really just trying to get into the faith world. And Sony's interesting. I didn't know this at the time, but Sony doesn't have their own SVOD. What they do is they acquire different SVODs, niche SVODs, in all different arenas. And that's, it's an interesting conversation to sit around with Sony execs and say, why do you not have your, like Universal has theirs, NBC has theirs, Peacock, and all these other things.
Well, that's smart for them to have an umbrella of various genres and niche stuff.
Yeah,
but then again, they don't have to brand your content with Sony all the time.
No, and that's and they give us a lot of freedom to do. A lot of our subscribers were afraid that they were just going to switch, change directions, and that has not been that way at all. They've really just allowed us to continue our mission to make faith and family films that uplift and inspire the human spirit. And it's been a wonderful thing. And so Nothing's Impossible fits perfectly into our umbrella, and it will be on PureFlix by the end of the year, and I'm sure it'll be many other places as well, because obviously Sony will distribute it.
It's exciting. It really is. And PureFlix is very, very affordable, folks. It's very affordable.
And,
very affordable.
Something like that. I mean, when there's a lot of streaming and on-demand stuff, but a lot of it is it's stuff you can find on cable anyways.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you can find multiple things in multiple places. But this is stuff you have.
This is
premier
very concise.
content.
It's
You
great.
have, and it's all very carefully curated to be, family friendly and faith-based and inspirational, positive stuff. So I mean, you're not gonna get it and find your kids have clicked onto something they shouldn't have clicked on.
I think it was.
It's pretty amazing, actually. A lot of people don't know this, but what PureFlix, because PureFlix acquires from all the studios as well, right? So we have everything from every major studio on that platform, and but it's cleaned, and it's cleaned legally. There was a whole lawsuit and whatever that happened years ago. When people were illegally cleaning things. But, we actually do acquire the rights, and they help us. The studios actually help us to, people go, well, how is it being a faith-based thing in Hollywood, and is it terrible, and all this, just the idea of what that would be. But the studios have been very helpful they'll take whatever movie it is that's on there. If you go on there's a whole lot of studio films on there. And then but it's cleaned. So it's great for the family.
Yeah, I know I was seeing some older westerns. I think like Open Range or something like that was on there. There's some other like modern western stuff, and it's like, well, I know I've seen some of those, but they probably cleaned them. But I mean, that's no different than what they do on cable, anyways.
And
you got to trim down 13 minutes of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's what you got to do.
You got to make it fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tangled in my cables.
Careful, baby.
Matt, I wanted to ask you one quick question. Okay, when you read this script, right? You read this many, many moons ago, and what is it that attracted you to this script? Nothing is impossible, in case I didn't mention that.
Growing up an athlete, I think we all dream, and I think that dream maybe goes away when it becomes not practical, you're going to make it. But there's a part of our journey that identifies with someone else's dream, and so we watch other athletes, and we pull for them, especially the ones where there's heart and depth behind it. So when I read it, I related to the athlete's journey, and then I read the love story and the identification of finding someone who helps you be your better self. So I just felt like this is something like you were saying about inspiration and believing in yourself. We were talking about the NBA team, and the tagline, we talked to the art department, it was, I think it was believe, commit, nothing's impossible. And I think that phrase to me speaks to, if I look back over my career, that's a legacy I want to be part of. And this movie is that journey for this character, Scott Beck. And I was thrilled to be a part of the creator of that.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do it, Master.
Thank you for allowing me to.
and everybody else here too. Thank you.
Hey, I got to see the journey of Scott Beck from mopping floors to becoming, the captain of the team. That journey is a wonderful thing. And for you to embody this person who at first, has all these struggles, and then all of a sudden see your epiphany and your revelations in it. I thought that was very good. And I like seeing that. I think everyone needs a little bit of that in their life. We all have different hurdles we jump over every day. And when we can watch it in an hour and 33 minutes and have, that journey take off and have this resolution, it's quite good. And I think that's the magic of filmmaking. And I think that Matt, David, and everyone here, we love making that kind of magic.
Even one of the actors that's the basketball player on there, he told me, because I asked him what he's doing now, he's 40 now, and even him, he's like, I'm trying to figure it out, and he played in the NBA.
Marcus Haslett.
He was
amazing.
the 13th pick out of all the guys in the world in the NBA,
and
then played around the world.
Yep.
And now he's 40, and I said, hey, Marcus, what are you doing now, man? So I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's really, I said, listen, man, I think you can do some stuff in this field. I said, you're a natural, you're smart.
Yeah, he was great.
You think on your feet. And he's like, that guy's really good. Yeah, he's great. But when I watched him, I'm not impressed much because I've been around the basketball world my life. I saw some clips of him and I'm like, wow, this guy was the real deal. I beat the number 12 pick, number 1, first pick, 12th pick in a 2-on-2 game. I want to tell you that. Okay? I want to say that.
All right, we got to wrap up.
Let's
wrap up.
Anyway, let's wrap this one up.
Wait. I got one question for David. That's how it works. So, hey, David, for the people watching and for the people here, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What about this role is distinct against or in distinction of all the other roles you've played?
Well, I'm supposed to be able to play basketball really well.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think that was the exactly. Eric did a great job in that. No, I loved. I'll make this quick. I wrote a book called Between Heaven and Hollywood: Chasing Your God-Given Dream, and what I loved about that is being a kid from Kansas in the middle of a wheat field with a dream in my heart. Never had an acting class in my life because we didn't have any. Other than, we didn't really have anything. It was a little town in 2000 called Meade, Kansas, outside Dodge City. And I had a dream because I loved the entertainment industry, even growing up as a Mennonite and seeing one movie in the theater the first 18 years of my life. Somehow the Lord put that dream inside of me and to move into the film industry. And so, against all odds, everybody else has a dream here too, and everybody else did something, how you guys all got into it. But for me, I moved to LA when I was 19, and it's not easy. Things aren't necessarily easy, I think, in any way, shape, or form in our lives. But if you believe and you have that dream, keep moving forward, making the steps to achieving it and going for it. And truly, nothing is impossible.
Fantastic. That was beautifully said.
Right on.
Well, we're going to come back in just a minute and talk to David about The God's Not Dead 4 that's coming out. We're going to show you that trailer right now, and we will be back in just a minute.
Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation away from extinction. And those in world history who have known freedom and then lost it have never known it again.
Let's face it, your God, your book, they're in the way. You feel that you're making a last-ditch stand for your faith, and you've chosen this as a hill that you're willing to die on.
Our whole faith started because one man chose a hill he was willing to die on.
I would like to call this hearing of the House Subcommittee to order.
Right now, there's an effort underway to mandate universal educational guidelines.
Once we decide what a child needs to know, it becomes imperative that every child know it.
Remember the visit we got from social services the other day?
I'm here to review your homeschooling environment.
Religion has been removed from our schools. They're teaching kids that they don't need God.
If your children do not show up at school a week from Monday, you will be charged with contempt of court.
meaning you will be incarcerated.
Shannon said last night she doesn't want her parents going to jail.
This is bigger than just homeschooling. I think we should fight this. We need to.
Just want to make sure you understand what you're fighting here.
Our district teaches a revisionist version of history.
If God is for us, who can be against us?
Around here, just about everyone else.
The country is just now beginning to realize that unity means winning under our terms.
For 2,000 years, men have been trying to get rid of Christianity. What makes you think that you can accomplish what they couldn't?
They didn't have an 83% approval rating.
That's part of your plan, isn't it? Keep us all divided so we don't realize that you're really chipping away at our freedoms and liberties.
America is a country so blessed to whom much is given, much will be required.
You see those statues and those monuments out there? They say, you work for us.
You are out of order, Mr. Bell.
A government of the people, by the people, for the people.
We are back
live from Market Square. Great show tonight, man.
Man, talk about stuff. I mean, it's been loaded.
Loaded show, yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's just a fun show. So, and we've got David and Vincent back in the studio talking about God's Not Dead 4. You guys seen the trailer just a few minutes ago. We're so excited you guys are here, stuck around a little bit longer to talk about this movie that is coming out real soon. Tell us a little bit about the God's Not Dead 4.
Yeah, we don't like to call it God's Not Dead 4. We're not like Fast and Furious 9.
there is a title. I apologize.
God's Not Dead, We the People.
We the People.
Thank
We
you,
the
Vincent.
people, that's right.
No, you know, there's a
We the
reason
people.
why, because I think when you put numbers on things, right, yes, it helps to go, did I see God's Not Dead 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? But in reality, this is a standalone movie.
Right.
If you haven't seen God's Not Dead 1, you should definitely do so in 2 and 3. But that's the whole reason behind it. Is God's Not Dead, We the People. And I'm so excited about this movie, actually. If you ever saw the movie Mr. Smith Goes to Washington with Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a classic movie. Is that not a classic movie?
Absolutely. I mean, the Frank Capra movie, of course, you did It's a Wonderful Life, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Jimmy Stewart, who travels to D.C., and his entire journey of that is remarkable. David's character is in D.C., and he's trying to persuade these congressmen to understand what's going on. And it's wonderful. It has Antonio Sabato Jr. in it. It has Isaiah Washington, William Forsythe, Isaiah Washington from
Francesca Battistelli.
Grey's Anatomy. Yes. So it's another great
Award winner.
Yes, she's a
Yeah.
Grammy.
But the thing that I loved about it was I had an acting teacher in the when I had first moved to LA, and Don Richardson was this man who was a legend that had directed over 800 shows in his lifetime. He was in the group theater, the original, if you know anything about acting and where techniques come from. He was in the group theater with Strasberg and Stella Adler, and he, you know, like every now and then there's these moments in your life where somebody compares you to something and it means something, the world to you. By the way, are we supposed to look in this camera? Or are we supposed to look at you,
You
fine
can look.
folks?
That's completely up to you.
Yeah,
Wow.
where you feel comfortable.
This is freedom, right?
Yes,
This is what
this is
America's
absolutely
all
about.
about. See, I can look
We
at
the
you
people.
guys, the framing, because I really don't care
If you're
about
addressing,
framing.
I like to say it like this: if you're addressing the audience, look right at the camera.
I
You know?
like
if there's
it.
something you want them to know.
Well, what Don Richardson did for me was that he compared me to Jimmy Stewart early on in my career. And he said, I think you're like a young Jimmy Stewart. Now, you may say, wow, right? Which is what I said, who's Jimmy Stewart?
Well,
I don't know who Jimmy is.
Wow.
I know who Jimmy Johnson is, not Jimmy Stewart. No. But obviously, as I started out in the career and started learning about Jimmy Stewart, obviously it was a great honor to ever be compared to that. And so when this movie came up, I was so excited about, obviously, you know, we've had God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness, which is the third installment, which not a lot of people know about, which I find it's an amazing movie. If you've not seen God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness, it's an amazing movie. And it came out about two and a half years ago, 3 years ago, when there was such massive division in obviously there's massive division in our country right now. And there's a great line from that movie that said, you know, I wish that everyone could just stop yelling and start listening to each other. Well, God's Not Dead, We the People now takes it a step further, because obviously, you know, our country has even it's transitioned in the last 3 years than what it was 3 years ago. It's, you know, in so many different ways. And God's Not Dead, the whole God's Not Dead franchise really is about taking the things that are going on in our society at the time for such a time as this. It's like that movie, whatever the movie, somehow these movies come out and they mirror, you know how they say life imitates art.
Mm-hmm.
In this way, art is imitating life in a lot of ways. And so God's Not Dead, We the People really is about where do our freedoms come from? You saw it in the trailer. You know, Ronald Reagan has that amazing line that says, what does he say? My
Freedom
goodness.
is
It's
almost a generation.
Yeah.
Is almost a generation away of being non-existent.
non-existent. Like
Yes.
it's not that America is not that old,
Yeah.
and the freedoms that we are able to enjoy now could very well be taken away from us.
Oh, it's the truth.
And that's really what this movie is hitting on, and in obviously in the God's Not Dead way. And that's what I'm just passionate about this. And obviously, we shot this movie in some very nice places.
Yeah, so we shot in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and also then we traveled to Washington, D.C. to the Capitol.
And Los Angeles.
And Los
we
Angeles
just
as
shot
well.
in Los Angeles
And
too. So it has a very big feel to it. Which is
very cinematic. But while we were in D.C., also the community there was so great. Vance Knoll, the director of God's Not Dead, We the People, Vance had a very arduous task to shoot in the Capitol, on the Capitol, in Jefferson's Monument, the Washington Monument, all of these huge historic monuments in Washington with thousands of people
Yeah.
just like going back and forth. And so it was a bit-
but the neat thing about it was I've shot in Washington, in D.C. on a movie called Faith of Our Fathers, and it was a movie that I did with Kevin Downs and a host of other folks, but that was I feel like that was like back in 2009 or 10, something like that, maybe 12. I get years confused. I don't know. If
They go by so fast the older we get.
They go by so fast.
It's like a roll of toilet paper. They go
Yeah,
faster and
exactly. But
faster.
after the quarantine, obviously, and after the election, everything was shut down. And so the question was, well, how in the world are we going to do this? Now go back to DC to shoot. And what we found, though, was that the amount of people had been cleared out. So there was a whole lot less people there. And obviously the National Guard isn't, I think that they left. I didn't see them
Right,
there.
there wasn't the National Guard. There were
And
a lot less.
The
There were
gates
lots of
were
people.
down,
The
and everything
gates were
else,
down.
and there was a whole lot less people. So it was easier to shoot, actually.
And a lot of people were fans of David's watching the other God's Not Dead, and so they're like, "Wait a minute, are you doing God's Not Dead?"
Yeah.
Sure. And then they would just step to the side and down those steps. They were so helpful to us because we had to take care of a lot of people because the scope of the film is down that entire large monument, down the steps, and you see the big pond, and then you see the White House in the distance. And so
the Capitol.
And the
Senators
Capitol.
around the Capitol.
And the Capitol in the distance. And so that was covering a lot of area. And then walking through the War Memorial Monument and seeing all those names on the walls in the movie, it just, you felt this feeling of like, wow, there's so many people that served our country, and here we are in that birthplace where we see and we recognize all the people that have served all of those years. And so
you think about the sacrifices
and
people made.
all the sacrifices of everyone, and this film captures that.
Yeah.
And we get to pan and see all of those names of all those who served in our military. So doing God's Not Dead, playing Congressman John Murray, at first I was a bit reluctant to what was being presented to me, which was homeschooling, or is that okay, or is it not okay? And so listening to the arguments, and then all of a sudden, I have a revelation listening to those arguments about homeschooling. So the God's Not Dead franchise always inspires me, and I'm glad that this movie, which will be coming out, I guess,
October 5th.
October 5th.
In theaters.
Yeah. It's going to be great because everyone was waiting for the next one. And that's what I heard. In DC, everyone's like, "When's the next one coming out?"
I'm sure.
Is this, And so it's October.
I'll be there opening night.
Good. Good. In select cities across
they have
the US.
become kind of the one of the go-to names in like Christian, faith-based cinema.
Yeah.
Because they do, like you were saying, take so many of the popular issues and the struggles that are going on, and put it through that faith-based, faith-centric lens, and a lot of people wouldn't. They're having those discussions at home, and for them to see it reflected in cinema, I think it's what resonates so well with people.
Oh yeah, and the fact that it's about homeschooling.
Yeah.
Homeschooling is so huge now.
It was such an issue over
You guys
COVID
don't know
and
this.
stuff.
Yeah.
My kids, my two youngest children were homeschooled from the time they were very little and graduated out. And my kids are amazing, by the way. Just to let you know, they are.
Must have good
incredible.
teachers.
But
Your wife must have been
my
great.
wife, and it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. But my wife, she was absolutely incredible. But seeing the trailer, there's a lot of things because people are asking these questions. Are your kids really getting taught well? I'll put my kids up against anybody's kids as far as knowledge. And
but it's not,
sharpness.
the thing about this is, though, is, I mean, what we want to be clear of is it starts out of the homeschooling, when they're trying to censor the homeschooling.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's where it starts, but it's bigger than that. It's so much more important. It's, the God's Not Dead franchise has really been about taking God out of, or having conversations about God in school. So it started in the college campus, then it went to the high school in God's Not Dead 2, and then it went to, the basically back to the university in a different way in God's Not Dead, in the third installment of it, but in Light and Darkness. But in this one, it starts with the homeschooling just because we hadn't done it before, and also we're finding out that there's an amazing thing about in this movie that it's not only Christians who homeschool. Like, they represent a small, actually, demographic to all the people that actually, start in homeschooling. And so I guess that's the interesting thing about it is it starts there, but then obviously it ends up going to Washington and covering an array of things from basically freedom. Where do we try to take God out? But also, where is the government supposed to be? Is the government supposed to be invading? How much are they supposed to control in our lives? Not only in our schools, but in our businesses, in our, in so many different ways. And I think obviously that's a universal topic right now.
Yeah, absolutely is. You were very passionate in that one scene. I loved it. Using that courtroom. I love it. I can't wait to see the movie. I'm ready.
I mean, it's you gotta have
those monuments. There's a great line about that. I think those monuments. They say you work for us. That freedom that was fought, was earned. That people like the congressman, and. There's a reason what they did with the Declaration of Independence in the way that they set up our government. And to just rip it all apart right now, whether or not it's fiction, whether or not life is imitating art, I think these are important questions.
And I'm glad the movie puts a reflection to our society. I mean, we all put what's going on in our life under a spiritual microscope, and that spiritual microscope we dissect. And when we dissect what's going on, we say, okay, is this what is really happening, and where should I have my stance, and should the government be able to step in and say this is not right or this is correct, where we should have the autonomy and the desires to do what we want. And I think that this movie really represents that, saying, to everyone, is that we need the freedoms, such as the freedom of speech. So.
Yeah. What is a fair and comprehensive education for our children?
Yes.
What is that? You know, and is it up to the government to decide?
Very true.
And the hope, the hope with the God's Not Dead movies is that they're conversation starters.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as you had mentioned before, and that and that's after the first movie, obviously, and through the last. First one came out in 2014. Through the last 7 years now, more and more people come up. When people come up to me, the majority of the time is they're like, "Thank you for allowing us. Thank you for giving us a gateway to have conversation with." Sometimes it's their kids. Sometimes it's like my father that I've never spoken to in 20 years. Sometimes it's
friends,
all,
co-workers, anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
People,
so
somebody
many
on the
different
street.
People that the movie hopefully is not one-sided, but it is. The point of it is to open the conversation up.
And it's not.
Which is what America was built on.
And it's not made to
built on everyone's ideas. It wasn't just one person. No offense to the Queen, but it wasn't one person who said it's going to be this way.
Well, and I feel like a lot of people, like their apprehension, if they have an apprehension about Washington, it's that they may be like proselytized or like beaten over the head. It's like, it's not like that. It's it's a conversation about spirituality and its function in our modern world and what it has. It has ties to all of these things: education, family, your job. All of this. So to have those conversations, you got to have that spark And movies are a great way to do it. So.
And That's so true. It just really, when making movies, and I always say the magic of movie making is to have dialogues. And these narratives are about dialogues. People being able to communicate with their friends, family, neighbors, and have that conversation that they can all of a sudden have their own opinion and speak. I mean, that's why we do what we do, is because we want to empower generations to have dialogues and to learn. That's all. And
so,
to discover.
Entertain.
Yeah, so you're telling me you've made an entertaining movie with plot lines that actually, fulfill. You've got character development, and you ask intelligent questions. Are you sure you're making movies now? Are you sure you're making a modern movie?
Yeah. And cinematic. And just,
cinematic,
and you get to see the scope of Washington. You get to see the scope of what happens in one of these ESPN, SPN.
Yeah,
CNN.
No, it's not CNN, but it's like C-SPAN.
C-SPAN, sorry, ESPN. That's sports.
Behind, very close though.
Which I watched as well. But C-SPAN, you get to see what's going on in that room. What's happening with these
behind
debates
the doors.
Behind the doors, and it's great that we get to peer in, and this movie allows you to peer in to see what goes on in these debates. So that's
it sparks you to want to know more.
Yes.
And that's the thing, and that's great movie making.
Absolutely.
Well, it comes out. This God Said Dead's a little different in the way, because obviously COVID hit. The theaters are different right now. There's a lot of the blockbusters are that the studios have been holding for so long. Are being released into. And see, there's always a behind the you peel the onion and go, why in the world is God's Not Dead being released through a Fathom event? It starts October 5th, 6th, 7th, and then through the weekend. And as opposed to, being released with the last Fast movie. Fast and Furious.
Fast 9, baby, Fast 9.
Exactly. And the reason is because the studios have clogged the pipelines up. The pipelines are clogged right now because of because of COVID. All the movies have been back. They've been waiting, right? Mission Impossibles or Top Gun's waiting. How long has it been waiting to get out there? And so the God's Not Dead movie comes out October 5th in theaters everywhere in the USA, and it'll go out worldwide as well on some. I don't know exactly where yet. We'll find that out. But it's so important to come to the movie, and every time you show up for these type of films and you buy a ticket, you're casting your vote, basically. Speaking of politics, you're casting your vote saying, I want more of these things.
That's correct. Right.
And
That's
when you do that, when you go to the theater and when you support these films, basically you're allowing theaters to be aware of that there is an audience for these movies. And then they hold these movies over longer. And so that's what we would ask, is that you come out on October 5th.
Go support it in the theaters.
Right away. Don't wait, because a lot of times we wait. We're busy, which is understandable.
The opening weekend box office numbers, baby.
Opening weekend.
And don't get lazy. Don't get lazy and sit at home and stream it. You can stream it if you need to, but
stream it later.
Yeah, stream it later.
The difference thing, then we've heard all kinds of stories, but I love this story. Is that one guy in the middle of one of the God's Not Dead movies, I forget which one it was, had a heart attack. Not that I'm not celebrating his heart attack, but so basically they stopped the movie. The ambulance had to come in and the whole thing to revive him. But in the process of it, it turned into this unbelievable just family worship music was going on. It turned into this just incredible night. And
people spreading energy and praying for this man.
And praying for him, and he's okay. He actually was, he survived, and in the process of it, though, I think it's camaraderie. It's
community.
Why we go to church. It's
community.
We support each other, and also when you least expect it, you'll end up. God will use you in some way with someone else.
You never know when.
Someone else may be used in your life.
Absolutely.
And so go out to the theaters October 5th.
Check it out. God's Not Dead.
Yep.
We the people.
We the people.
And you can Google it and whatever for all your local.
Watch them
theater
all.
times.
Watch them all before the premiere. catch up.
There's three
You
of
got,
them
you
before
got
this.
3
God's
of them to
Not
catch
Dead
up.
1, God's Not Dead 2, and God's Not Dead: A Light in Darkness. So make sure you watch all 3 before you come to the
do the
theater.
binge night beforehand. Invite the family, friends over, and do the whole stream.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys so much for being here, man. It
Yes,
meant the
thanks
world to
so
us.
much for stopping by.
Very
How fortuitous that you were in Knoxville at the time.
Yes.
It is.
And
By the
you're
way, you can watch all God's Not Dead movies on pureflix.com, by the way.
Order it today, folks. Go on, get the app.
There you go. You can go catch
Check it
up
out.
on your God's Not Dead movies.
Absolutely. And you guys are wrapping up the shooting of Nothing is Impossible. And when are you wrapping up shooting of that here?
In about a week and a half.
About a week and a half. Well, enjoy the town while you're here. Get some good Southern food. We got some biscuits and gravy coming for you, I think. So.
Thank you very much.
You guys, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been great working with y'all for the last week, man. I've loved every minute of it. It's been
Jim's
wonderful.
usually glowing, but today he just came in absolutely radiant. So.
Thank you, Jimmy, for everything. Josh, thank you.
Absolutely.
We will always remember Knoxville, Tennessee, and it will be always captured in this film forever and ever for generations to come.
I'll
So
be
thank
looking for
you.
my favorite spots in it, I tell you.
Yes, yes, indeed.
All right, well, check it out October 5th. God's Not Dead, We the People, coming to a theater near you. And, you know, we got all these great theaters around here. One
That's
right
right.
down here on Gay Street. You know, if they're not showing it, if it shows like at the time and you're like, I want to go to the downtown cinema with all of my friends, maybe tell them, hey, I want to see a showtime for God's Not Dead. They've got 5 theaters there.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, let them know that you want to see it there. So
Make it happen, folks.
we'll be back with some music from Rick Stone right after this. Live.
Well, he's a running, he's a thumbing, he's a picking, he's a strumming, and he won't look back until the deed is done. He's a bandit, he's an outlaw, yeah, he's stranded, thoughts to get lost, and he's making his way onto the next track towards the sun. Believes he's never going back, got a 6-string on his back. Believes he's never going back, got a 6-string on his back. Looking forward to the city lights, all the tall high rises, the neon signs, with all that he hoped for, all that he's dreamed. This simple life, there was no more. Had to get out of town, had to settle the score. The train starts to run, he's moving for his life. Believes he's never going back, got a 6-string on his back. Believes he's never going back, got a 6-string on his back.
All right, we are live from Market Square. We've had a fantastic show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed the show, let your friends know about it. We do this every Wednesday, 7 p.m.-ish. And share it out. Let people know what we're doing here. We'd love to have you back next time. Got some great guests next week. But right now, wrapping up the show from his first album, Home, which is available now to stream on all of your social media platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. It's Rick Stone with the title track, Home, here, live from Market Square.
Got the news just today. My life had changed in a real bad way. I know I wanna go home. Doctors found cancer everywhere, and you can bet I'm really scared. Yeah, they know I wanna go home. Get back where I belong. Now it's chemo rounds and CT scans with my scared little wife holding my hand. Yeah, I know she'd rather be home. Kids came by and spent the day acting real brave in their own way, but I know they'd rather be home. Now I'm praying so hard, but now I know only God decides the road we're on. Families gathered around today, saying goodbye in their special way, but I know they want me home. So don't you cry for me, I say, 'cause Jesus has come to take me home to stay. I know I'm going home. And you're where I belong. And you're where I belong. That goes out to Bob Saluski, my brother. Still battling cancer.